Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Doug Cannon joins us. He's the president and CEO of NV Energy, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the air conditioning back on today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why sweat for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your air conditioning fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
Carson Valley Inn, it's your place for the good times. Carson Valley Inn.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're delighted to welcome to the program in person Doug Cannon, President and CEO of NV Energy. Thank you so much for being here.
It's absolutely a pleasure to be here, Sam, and always enjoy our conversations and look forward to our conversation today. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And obviously, you've been all over the news as NV Energy for the last few weeks. Let's start out with this.
Sure.
Green energy mandates from the state and the federal government. You have opposition from the very entities that you would think would be supportive. How do you circle that square? Because it's literally every day.
Yeah, one thing we one thing we really focus on is delivering balanced energy solutions for our customers. As we look at trying to deliver for our customers, we look at reliability, we look at affordability, and then we look at sustainability. And so you have three legs to the stool. When we're talking specifically about the sustainability leg, number one, we have to consider the state has already put in place a renewable portfolio standard. And so that becomes the minimum standard for us, that we have to achieve that renewable portfolio standard. This year, that's at 29%. We delivered to our customers over 36% renewable energy. So more than a third of the energy that's in your home every hour of every day is renewable. We're proud of that, and we're excited to see that expand. By 2030, that will be 50%. 50% of the energy in every home, business, energy use in the state of Nevada will be renewable, and we're on track to deliver that. Now, even beyond that, we think the beauty is today, renewable energy also makes economic sense in a lot of circumstances. And so as we look at bringing on new resources, we always try to balance, where does that renewable resource really make sense for our customers, again, from both a sustainability and an affordability perspective. But you're right, it's always a challenge. You have putting in solar resources, for example, that we have here in Nevada. It takes land, and we have to make decisions about how we're going to use our land. And as a society, are we willing to kind of make that trade-off that we're going to reduce carbon emissions, but in return use a little bit of land that in many contexts doesn't have a lot of other higher and better uses? We can develop solar projects to minimize effects on species. We can put it in locations that don't have a lot of species. I mean, those are all things that we can consider and look at, and we do as we try to site our solar projects. So we try to do it in a very responsible way. I know those in the geothermal industry do the exact same thing. Those in the wind industry try to do the exact same thing. So we really are trying to deliver balanced solutions.
You look at Project Greenlink, which is an amazing project. We've talked about it on the program before in many different ways, beyond just our conversations. and two branches of it, but now you're getting giant pushback. Do you feel that this is going to delay the project?
We don't. And I want to be careful in describing the pushback. The pushback is coming from a very small minority of people. This may be a very vocal minority, but it's a minority. As we go out and we talk to the counties, we talk to solar developers, they're all very excited about this project. They recognize, number one, this advances renewable energy projects or renewable energy development in our state. So it advances sustainability. It also advances economic development. We have to have that additional capability to move electricity from the north to the south and the south to the north in the state if we're really going to continue to grow as a state. So people recognize the sustainability and economic benefits of this project. And so you do have a few folks that are concerned about environmental effects, but we're working very closely with the Bureau of Land Management to make sure we build this project in an environmentally responsible manner. Do we put in the right type of structure so that we can reduce predation on sage grouse or desert tortoise? What types of foundations do we put in to minimize the footprint of the structure? I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do. We're looking at routing. And if there's certain areas that are more sensitive habitats, we can route around that. These are all considerations as we look at putting in GreenLink to make sure that we do it in a responsible way. And right now, from what we're hearing from the Bureau of Land Management, again, they're the lead agency on it, it's their decision, but we're hearing the project is still, from a permitting perspective, on time. So we're proceeding, getting contractors lined up, buying equipment. So we plan on still delivering GreenLink West, which is the first phase that goes up the west side of the state by the end of 2026, and then GreenLink North that'll go across the northern part of the state by the end of 2028.
And you're looking at the development in the individual areas, industrial parks, both in the north and southern portions of the state, but certainly much more so in rural Nevada than we've ever seen before. This is going to be needed, otherwise all those projects are not going to be able to deliver the energy you need to be able to do what you're doing.
That's exactly right. GreenLink is such a critical component of our future growth in the state of Nevada. And it's an exciting time to be in Nevada. There's a lot of growth, there's a lot of diversification, and NV Energy looks forward to being part of the solution and helping advance that economic development in our state, especially here in northern Nevada. We're very engaged in the economic development community, and as we engage with future projects that are looking to come to the state, there are tremendous electric loads associated with that.
Yes, there are.
Right, I mean, you've heard probably some of the numbers. I mean, we could see the electric loads in the north double or triple over the next 8 to 10 years. That takes a lot of infrastructure if you're going to double or triple your electric load in northern Nevada. And GreenLink becomes that critical backbone piece. That's the interstate highway that's really able to move, if we're talking about goods and manufacturing, that's that interstate highway that can really move things fast.
Well, it's also where the solar energy has to travel.
That's exactly
to
right.
be able to get to where it's needed. So if you're going to build all these solar farms, they have to have a transportation path.
They have to. It doesn't do us any good to build a solar plant and not have the transmission to move it. It's like building a factory that makes shoes, but having no roads that connect that factory to where people are actually going to buy the shoes. Right? We have to have it.
I'm sure that you saw the recent LA Times article about energy and renewable energy. And it was talking, and I thought an interesting point, that even though lots of people would like to have solar power on their homes, but really it's industrial scale solar that is really going to make the difference in terms of powering the country.
That's right. I mean, if you look at the state of Nevada, there is certainly a role for rooftop solar, and we engage with the rooftop solar developers. We work with them every single day. And that's a choice our customers can make. It's an option that's available to them if they think it's in their interest. At the same time, you look across the state, we've added several hundred megawatts of rooftop solar over the years. We can build that much solar and more in one project. Say there's 500-600 megawatts of rooftop solar across the whole state that's been built over the last decade. We can do that in one project, and we can also do it at considerably lower prices for our customers.
And that's the bigger deal, isn't it?
It is absolutely. I mean, if you're talking the economics of it and efficiency in pricing and affordability for our customers, that utility scale solar project is going to deliver a much lower price of energy than rooftop solar is going to deliver. Now, rooftop solar has a role, so I never want to say that it's exclusive. There's a role for both of them, but when we're just talking bulk power for our customers, that utility scale project will deliver better pricing.
You know, it was ironic. I bought solar hot water about 10 years ago, and the tank went out, and it was time to replace it, obviously. The price tag on an 80-gallon tank was $8,400 with an 8-week delivery period. I went back to natural gas for $1,100. I mean, you know, some of these things sound great until you actually start pricing them out, and they don't always make sense. All right, let's take a break. Let's come back. We have lots more to talk about. I could keep you here for 2 hours.
Hey, this is great.
We'll be right back after this.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Safety is the #1 priority for the trucking industry. Over $7 billion a year is spent on technology like this electronic eye that will apply the brakes automatically. But the most important factor for safety is the truck driver. These hardworking men and women who safely move over 70% of our nation's freight and 94% of Nevada's. We thank you because trucks move America forward.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Doug Cannon. He is the president and CEO of NV Energy. So big news, you're looking to shut down the Valmy coal-fired plant in 2025. This is the last coal-fired plant. Senator Reid is looking down from heaven, I'm presuming, and is very happy to see that happening. But there's a huge price tag that goes along with this, with all the things that you're doing in connection with that. Can you explain a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's really important to clarify what's going on with Valmy. There's been some recent news, so we're going to be making a filing with the Public Utilities Commission in the coming weeks that will propose a solution for the Valmy power plant. As you mentioned, the Valmy power plant is the last coal-fired power plant that NV Energy has in our portfolio. We're very pleased that we have the opportunity to retire that plant. And our plan is still to retire that plant by 2050 from coal operations. What we're going to propose is that plant be converted.
By the way, you said 2050, you mean 2025?
2025, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying. If I said
Okay.
that, I probably just made a lot of people nervous. 2025, by December 2025.
I've been doing a lot of reading.
No, thank you. Thank you for that correction. You're absolutely right. We're going to convert it to natural gas operations. Natural gas operations will reduce emissions from that plant by more than 50%.
Right.
So we're really pleased with that, and really pleased that that's going to be able to contribute to our carbon emissions reductions in the state. That's a commitment that we have. The price tag on it is actually less than $100 million. So it's actually a very affordable outcome for our customers. The bigger price tag that got put out in the media is actually for a separate solar facility that will be built just outside of Winnemucca.
Right.
That's what the bigger price tag comes from. That's a 400 megawatt plant that will also have a 400 megawatt battery storage project associated with it. That's a new resource for our state that'll help support growth in northern Nevada. that helps support compliance with the renewable portfolio standard. So I think it's important to, a lot of people have just been blending the two issues.
Right.
We're actually delivering the Valmy solution for under $100 million. It's this bigger project that's going to add new incremental resource for Northern Nevada that has the higher price tag on it. But the important thing to recognize with a solar plant, it may sound really expensive, $1.7 million for a solar facility, billion dollars for a solar facility. But what's so important about that is to remember, yes, there's higher cost up front, but there's no natural gas cost with it, no fuel cost with it into the future. And so over the life of that asset, it's actually cheaper than, say, a natural gas plant that may have a lower upfront cost, but then you're paying for natural gas over the course of the entire life of that facility. And you're subject to all of the volatility that natural gas can bring. We've all experienced that over the last 18 months.
Right.
And what that volatility can do to rates. So the beauty of that solar plant, yes, higher cost up front, but lower cost over the life of the asset, and we eliminate all of that volatility because there's no fuel cost.
And the battery technology has gotten to the point where this is viable.
It is absolutely viable. Now, it's a 4-hour battery. It's a lithium-ion type battery, but it is absolutely viable. We have some on our system today. We're able to manage them to help us manage load. And what it does is it allows us to take that solar energy and save it and really utilize it during our peak hours. And our peak hours are kind of between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. That's when that solar's really dropping off. It's not producing anymore, but yet peak loads are still there, so we can discharge that battery to make sure our customers still have that energy. And then Valmy is so essential because it's located in a part of the state where you have big loads associated with mining facilities. Right. There's no other facility out there generating electricity. And so if you don't have Valmy, it really causes problems on the electric grid and the stability of the electric grid. And solar panels and batteries by themselves just don't provide that same support as a spinning generator. It's just kind of the physics of it, is that spinning mass that can come from a generator. It really provides critical grid support for that part of the state. And so you have to have some generation out there.
Will you be doing a power supply for Thacker Pass as well, or are they going to do their own?
They're looking at doing their own. I mean, we've been in discussions with them to figure out what the right option is for them, and those discussions are ongoing, so I can't say for sure yet, but it sounds like they're looking at a number of different options.
I would have to bring up the cost of energy, because you put out an email just in the last few days talking about a price reduction for customers. But you also noted in that email that because of the rising costs, people are not going to see such a decrease that you'd hope for.
Yeah, it's been a really challenging last 12 months for our customers.
To say the least, right.
It has been absolutely a challenge. Prices have gone up considerably. What has caused that? That's all been caused by increased prices in the natural gas market. We saw prices, we were paying $2.50 or $3 per unit of natural gas, 18, 20 months ago. We started to see that price increase, and it really peaked last December and January. We saw prices over $25, $30 a unit for a short period of time. That a 10x increase in price for those for that resource, that caused a lot of pressure. And what happens there is we have a mechanism with the Public Utilities Commission in Nevada where we then recover those costs over a period of time. And so that's what happened is our customers, yes, the price of natural gas went up, but our customers didn't feel that right away. Under this mechanism, it gets spread out over a period of time, but that's caused rates to consistently go up quarter after quarter for the last year. And that's what our customers are feeling today, is those high natural gas prices. Now, the benefit of this is that mechanism will start to come down. We saw it going up. It was going to go up again on July 1st. We did not want that to happen. So we proactively made a filing with the Public Utilities Commission, actually asked them to not implement the next rate increase, but to instead just spread those costs over a longer period of time so that our customers didn't see rates go up any higher. If we look forward a year, Sam, we see rates about 30% lower than they are today in 1 year because of the way that mechanism works. And if we then go out to probably the end of 2024, early 2025, those rates are going to be between 35 and 40% lower than they are today, because that natural gas price will have worked itself out.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Is the cost of natural gas gone up so greatly when we have all this fracking available in this country? A, because the fracking companies had to cut back because the market wasn't there for them, but also with Russia cutting off the natural gas supplies to Europe. Were we not seeing more gas being exported from the United States overseas to Europe, and therefore our costs were going up because of the lack of availability?
Yeah, it's really a complex picture. We can't point to any one cause on what caused gas prices, in particular in the western United States, to go up. There was actually a number of causes. You hit on two of them. There's environmental regulation, political regulation that has caused production in the United States to vary, and in some cases, especially over the last 18 months, to go down. Certainly a factor. Certainly a factor. The war in the Ukraine and Russia's activities have absolutely caused supply issues. That has been an effect. One of the biggest effects for us is there was actually a pipeline outage in the western United States last year. There was some damage to a pipe. That pipeline had to be replaced. That ultimately affected what could be moved real time as well as what was in storage, because they hadn't been able to build up the storage in the western United States. That pipe is now back in service, and so we have seen prices drop back down to where they had been. But if I had to point to one cause, it would probably have been that pipeline outage, and it just highlights how critical infrastructure is in our country, right, and how critical it is that we have positive and really good infrastructure. One other comment I want to make about gas prices is when we talk about these rate fluctuations and how prices have gone up so we could recover gas costs and going back down, we don't make money off of natural gas. We just recover, for every dollar we spend on natural gas, we recover $1 back from customers. We don't get to upprice that. That's not how we make any money.
Right.
So as these rates have gone up for our customers over the last little while, this is not us making any additional profit. This is truly just us recovering the costs of that gas on a dollar for dollar basis.
So when you get slammed, being Berkshire Hathaway, as just making tons of money off of this, it just isn't true.
It just isn't true. We're not making any additional profit off of these rate increases that we've seen over the last little while. It's truly just recovering the actual cost of that gas.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back more with Doug Cannon after this timeout.
The casino industry drove Nevada's economy for decades. By the 1990s, however, the state's sole industry was in sharp decline. Many were losing their homes, many were leaving the state. Is Reno on track to be the Detroit of the West? Was an October 2010 Reno Gazette-Journal headline. Nevada knew it was time for a change and a time to diversify. Story County took that lead, took risks, invested tens of millions transforming its desert into a place of opportunity and a future for Nevada families needing something new. That desert now provides thousands of high-paying tech, advanced manufacturing, and energy careers at companies like Tesla, Panasonic, Google, Switch, and Redwood Materials. Story County transformed northern Nevada forever, and the tide of opportunity has raised all vessels through construction contracts, high-paying careers, and the power of payroll. Tens of millions have been generated in sales and property tax, permits, and other revenues for Reno, Sparks, Washoe County, and for all of Nevada. Enough, in fact, to generate a surplus after public services are provided. And best of all, a sustainable economic climate has been created, enabling our children to stay in Nevada and live prosperous lives in their home state. Story County, improving northern Nevada one industry at a time.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Doug Cannon. He is the president and CEO of NV Energy. So I bought an electric car. You'll be happy to know that, and so will others, I'm sure. It gets around 200 miles on a full charge. And I drive it locally, but I'm concerned to drive it a distance because I don't know if there are, it's a non-Tesla, so if there are enough non-Tesla charges out there. And I'm hearing a lot from people that are saying that charges that are out there are not working. What is your guesstimate on how many electric chargers we're going to need, say in the next 5 to 10 years in Nevada, to efficiently service electric cars?
Yeah, we see tremendous growth in the electric vehicle space right now. We are really excited about our opportunity in NV Energy to support vehicle electrification. We are actually also, and share your concern about the charging infrastructure that's out there. We don't have NV Energy charging infrastructure out there today. We have worked with the state, we've worked with other stakeholders to make sure that we have the Nevada Electric Highway, for example, so you can drive from Reno to Las Vegas and have charging infrastructure, but we need so much more. And so we are actually working on NV Energy owned, installed, maintained charging infrastructure right now. We've been working with the Public Utilities Commission on that. So Sam, I think that's something we're going to see a lot more of, and is certainly something that is going to be developing, I think, over the next few years, because the infrastructure need is absolutely there. And I think my guess is consumers adopt electrification faster than we even expect right now.
And that's going to be a very interesting discussion for down the road.
It is.
I thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate it. I look forward to our next conversation.
Thank you. Always enjoy it.
Thank you. And we'll be right back. As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com. Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. You can catch us online 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com, or you can download the podcast wherever you like to get your podcast. We'll see you on the next broadcast.